Ohio State of the Union, a lot of people are going to be talking about CJ Stroud's performance, how Ohio State's passing game was clicking. Jack Smith and Jigba was not playing for this game. They were throwing the ball to Emeka Egbuka, primarily. Cade Stover, tight end, was getting love in this Ohio State passing offense. And I know a lot of people are going to be talking about that, but this is what I really want to focus about. Not the passing offense. There are other aspects of Ohio State's game that really inspired me for the rest of the season, how I think they'll do. So first things first, the Ohio State run game. Ohio State ran for 258 yards on 43 carries against Wisconsin. They averaged 6 yards per carry against a Wisconsin defense. Now, going into the game, I would not have thought they would do that. After seeing that after seeing the Notre Dame game, seeing that interior line, Donovan Jackson, Whippler, and Matt Jones, how they were playing against that O-line, I didn't think that this team could generate a push like they did last Saturday against Wisconsin. They had a push up front, and they opened up these holes for Trevion Henderson, for Mayan Williams. Ohio State has a run game. Last year, they didn't have a run game. Michigan shut down that Ohio State offense, made them one-dimensional, forcing them to pass all the time. And CJ Stroud had a good game against Michigan. But when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, every fucking third down, you're not going to win football games. And this year, Ohio State is setting up their offense for good situations in third down. And that's why I'm very confident in this team. And I think they actually have a chance of winning the Natty this year, because the offense isn't one-dimensional. They can run the ball. Justin Frye, fucking tip of the cap to you, brother. Oh my God, this offensive line unit, Donovan Jackson was playing out of his mind. He was playing out of his mind. True sophomore left guard, playing out of his mind. But okay, moving on. Let's talk about the Ohio State run defense. Braelon Allen, Wisconsin's running back. Everybody knows who he is. Against Ohio State's backups on defense in the third quarter, he broke off a 75-yard touchdown, okay? He broke it off, got a big run. Take away that score, Ohio State's run defense gave up 117 rush yards on 34 carries, averaging 3.4 yards per carry, and a run-first, run-dominant, power-running offense from Wisconsin. Holding them to 3.4 yards, that's very impressive for an Ohio State defense going into the season where everyone thought they were going to be fucking dog shit. Okay. From what I compared to last year, the season before, to what I'm seeing on the defensive end this year, Jim Knowles is cranking shit. He is dialing things up on defense, Everett. He's creating havoc for the opposing quarterbacks. He's confusing them in the backfield. We're not running a base cover 3 fucking shell every goddamn play. No, we're actually setting the tone on defense this year, and we're not running base cover 1, cover 3. We're changing the shit up. And Ohio State's defense this year, it almost feels like they're playing offense on defense. They're not sitting back, letting the offense attack them. They're attacking the offense. They're putting pressure on the offense, forcing them to adjust to them rather than adapting to what the offense is doing. The defense for Ohio State shows them a look, and you force the offense to adjust to us, not the other way around. And it's inspiring to see, because that hasn't been the case for the past couple of years in this Ohio State defense under fucking Kerry Coombs, you bum ass. But okay, Ohio State's 2 starting corners were out for this game in Denzel, Burke, and Cam Brown. They had 3 scholarship corners on the roster for this game, Everett. Very unproven. They had redshirt freshmen, true sophomores starting at corner in this game. And you know what they fucking did, Everett? They held Graham Mertz in Wisconsin to 94 yards passing. 94 yards passing. We had 3 scholarship corners in the pass defense. They held them to 94 yards passing, Everett.
I would say that's
Are you kidding me?
Pretty impressive.
If you were telling me before the game started that Ohio State's 3rd and 4th string corners would hold the Wisconsin passing game to under 100 yards, no way.
These kids are freshmen, right? Like true freshmen?
Like second year, but first year, first time actually playing.
Yeah, first time actually playing.
Like redshirt freshmen. But it's like they performed, and it blew my mind.
Playing against Wisco too, by the way. Like
Wisco doesn't have a great passing offense. I get that.
But
it's their first Big Ten test. They didn't play. Yeah. They hardly had any snaps the 3 games previous. They get thrusted into this role and they performed. So Ohio State's run defense and pass defense, I was very, very impressed. Very, very inspired from what I saw. Overall, I was very impressed with how Ohio State won. And of course, CJ Stroud played amazing. The passing game was on point. Everyone's going to be talking about it. But my big takeaways was how impressive the run game on offense and defense looked, how the pass defense looked, how those other three facets of Ohio State's offensive defense, other than the passing game, looked dominant. That's why I was very inspired about this team. And that's why I think they truly have a chance of winning the national championship this year. I think they're better than Alabama at this point of the season. I think they're better than Georgia at this point of the season.
It also just comes down to the stretch and how Ohio State can do down the stretch, especially at Michigan. I don't know what Georgia or Alabama's conference play schedule is going to look like.
Oh, it's a fucking cakewalk, probably.
Probably. So that's the difference. And if
probably got Wofford in week 10.
It's gonna be in the shoe, right? Michigan and
yeah, it's
Ohio
in Columbus
State
this year, which is obviously very inspiring.
If that helps, but if Ohio State can when they play Michigan can just literally walk through them, if they can just slice and dice straight through them, I say you're looking good for the college playoffs.
That game comes down to the run game, run defense. Like that game comes down to running the football. If Ohio State can run the ball on Michigan, it's going to be a long day for the Wolverines.
It's just a long day. Is the offense just Blake Corum? Is that it?
So I was talking to some Michigan fans. They weren't very happy with J.J. McCarthy's performance over the weekend. Blake Corum went off, had 240 yards, like 5 touchdowns. Motherfucker went off. But they were very concerned about the passing game. But this is all I have to say. Michigan right now, like they got 2 months to prepare for the game. JJ McCarthy, that was his first college start. Like that start last week against Maryland was his first college start. Michigan, unlike most college football teams, they had the luxury of having a preseason going into their Big Ten conference schedule. They had a preseason where they played Hawaii, UConn. They played a bunch of jokes, and they had a preseason to break their players in. Now, I'm not going to shit on Michigan because in those preseason games, they handled business exactly how you would expect a top 4 team to handle business. So after those games, I see a lot of people knocking Michigan for their weak ass schedule, for, oh, you guys are playing shitty teams. Yes, they did. But I'm going to be honest, going into the season, I didn't think they'd play that good against those teams. And because they did, I'm giving them respect. I'm giving Michigan credit. Like that start last week was JJ's first college start. Like it truly was, when you consider the defenses he went up against before.
Michigan play.
They were literally playing bums, like Hawaii, like
last week.
Maryland, and this is another thing. So, I think they held Maryland to 13 points. In my opinion, Mini Tua, Tua's little brother, he's the quarterback for Maryland. I think he's the second best quarterback in the Big Ten behind CJ Stroud. I think that was a very impressive.
You're telling me you don't have faith in Tanner Morgan from Minnesota?
Okay. That was a very impressive win to me. Like holding Maryland's offense to 13 points, that's very impressive to me. Like a lot of people were, like some of my Michigan friends were a little like discouraged by their defense performance. That's a very fucking good defensive performance in my opinion. Like I think Maryland has a top 3 offense in the Big Ten, and they held them to 13 points. Like that's, I don't really get why Michigan fans were kind of upset about.
Wasn't Maryland also were they 2-1 or are they 3-0?
I think they were 3-0.
So I mean, they also probably had a cakewalk schedule up to that point, but
regardless,
they played SMU, they played SMU. They played SMU.
Yeah. But like I expected Maryland to have a top 3 offense of the country or in the Big Ten, and I still think they do. But I was impressed by Michigan over the weekend. Like I thought that was a good win by them.
Yeah, impressive win for Michigan.
I'm not quite ready to say like uberly impressive. Like obviously Michigan fans would have loved to see it be like 40-10 to 42-10, but if I was a Michigan fan going into the season, losing all those players on defense, uncertainty, your fucking coach doesn't even want to coach your team anymore, I'd be pretty happy with the state of the program right now. I don't know. I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, I would agree.
It seems like it's in a pretty good place, in my opinion.
You lose
But
recruits that way too. They lost for some recruits when he was doing interviews for the NFL jobs.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why the fuck you'd ever want to go to Michigan right now to play football. Like, but whatever. So some people think it's a good school. Maybe you think it's good for your football career. Donovan Peoples-Jones would probably say otherwise. But yeah,